typical day is basically liaising with the different teams. As my title says, it's mainly about the strategy. So, my job is to bring out the best in our team members and laying out a path for the organization. So I'm meeting with the HR and recruiting team, because the human resources is the biggest part of our business. I'm meeting with our learning and development teams where they're actually crafting strategies to educate and keep our team members current. But then I'm also touching base with the sales or technical teams, and also definitely our partners. Our partners for us are our customers, and also our technology partners such as Amazon Web Services, and also a company called Kong, which is an API platform. So a lot of my day is just lots of talking and support and trying to help to move things forward, essentially. The pandemic has really been an interesting place for us. We went into the pandemic focusing on developing our relationships. So it was during the pandemic that we became an AWS consulting partner by achieving the technical requirements, the knowledge requirements, and the sales requirements. It was during the pandemic that we actually were very focused on those activities. But most important for me is how did our customers fare during the pandemic? And I think that one of the main things that brought me a lot of joy during the pandemic, if there can ever be such a thing, was seeing our existing customers who had existing systems or customer-facing platforms just being more than ready for the pandemic. One of our bigger clients, British Caribbean Insurance, and when the pandemic came around for them, based on their investment in their digital transformation and making processes easier for their customers, they were ready. And when we look at the data, we saw that, they benefited massively by just providing convenience. So the pandemic is a place that, it has brought opportunities, it has brought a bit of struggles on our end, but we are working through that. And I could always talk more about that if required. Thanks so much for that question. So the way how we see it is that the tools, the technologies, and processes, they basically add value to companies when they're employed by professionals who actually know how to use these tools. And so for someone who is a solutions architect, or in our case, as Particular Presence, as a consulting partner, it means that we have invested the time, the resources, and acquired the knowledge to be really proficient in these areas. So some of the technologies, ASP.NET Core, AWS Solutions Architect, and API platforms, a lot of these are best in breed, brought on by best practices from different industries. And we're able to take these best practices from other regions, other countries, even our own country, and actually apply those to our customers. And what that means is that you're able to deliver solutions a lot faster. You're able to provide value to the customers a lot quicker. But just important to know is that technology in general is changing. A few years ago, the expectation was that you would have a lot of your resources housed at your own data centers or at your office. But as economies of scale go, there's some organizations that have just done a really good job of, making the standard things, much better, much cheaper, and much more reliable. And this is where an architect such as myself, I'm able to explain to customers what the benefits are of putting their infrastructure in, for example, AWS Cloud, or re-architecting their applications to be more cloud native, which typically brings lower cost, better security, which many people don't believe security is better in the cloud, but better security, more resilience. I mentioned cost optimized. There are a lot of key benefits that you get, especially when you're working with a certified team and a certified members. Well, it's a new year. The pandemic has taught us a ton load. But what's new and exciting coming from us is, our product offerings, especially from the AWS side and from our partner Kong, their API platform. As I mentioned before, technology is changing, customer expectations are higher and higher, and no longer are organizations allowed to have excuses as to why they're unable to deliver value to their customers. So the stakeholders from the board are expecting a lot, the staff is expecting, the customer is expecting a lot. And so I feel that 2022 will be the year that many organizations will come to see the value of the cloud. In our case, some of our existing customers have migrated 100% out of data centers. So we migrated a customer in November, which was a major migration to AWS Cloud, and they are already seeing significant benefits from doing it, from cost and from efficiency, accessibility, and so on. So in 2022, Particular Presence will be working very closely with Amazon Web Services Global to push various initiatives here in the Caribbean. And that's a big one that we're looking forward to. And on the other side, we're also working with our partner Kong to actually get API platforms and enterprise APIs as a main strategy for organizations to accelerate innovation, which we find is not so prevalent here in Jamaica or throughout the Caribbean. So look out for us to be doing a lot of events. We're going to be talking about a lot of these things. And we're going to be providing a lot of opportunities for customers to even test drive some of these products and services before they actually have to commit to anything. Well, the short answer is yes, there's something I want to be remembered for. And I think one of my main motivations for launching Particular Presence is, I personally would like to develop the human resource capability in the country. There's so many opportunities out there that, a good education, but good access to opportunities. I see how that can change an entire generation, right? My dad would always tell me stories of walking to school barefooted, which, as a child, we would laugh and say, oh, that's crazy. But, we never had to do these sorts of things. And he has always instilled in me and in his children that, we should invest in the development of human resources, and the money will come eventually. So my intention, or what I want to be remembered for, is someone who has given international opportunities, really good opportunities to individuals, so that they in turn can pay it forward, I guess is the term to use, pay it forward to other generations and actually uplift, their families and so on. And I believe that, if we can get to that place where everybody is lifting somebody else and we can keep paying it forward, and if there are 1,000 people like me who are doing things like that, then I think that, Jamaica will be one of the best places to live and raise children. So that's the legacy that I would like to leave. And yeah, that's the legacy that I'd like to leave, a legacy like my dad, which whenever I go anywhere and I call his name, nobody has ever punched me in the face. Everybody has always said, he's a great guy, and they have made many accommodations just because of him. So, I'd like to be remembered in that way, not just for my family, but for my staff and people who I can touch, basically.